Hello there, friends, and welcome back to Mario Month with episode 26 of That One Gaming Podcast. I'm Colin, otherwise known as Delicious Morsels, and here today we've got Lucas, aka Carnevil9. How you doing, Lucas?
I'm doing good. I'm also dying from laughter from behind the scenes.
Oh no! And we've also got, hopefully not dying from that laughter back there, Neil, better known as VMK89. How are you, Neil?
I'm only severely injured by laughter.
Okay, well, you're not dying, so you'll get over it. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. You can
It's
find
only
us...
a flesh wound.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple, Google, or one of many other podcasting platforms out there, where the three of us get together every other week to talk about a variety of topics in the world of gaming and try not to die in the process. This week, Mario Month concludes with a look at one of Mario's most beloved adventures, his Super Nintendo debut, that one game, Super Mario World. And yes, I know this episode is going live on May 2nd, but we're recording while it's still April, so it's still Mario Month, and this episode goes live on April 32nd. Okay, anyway, with that out of the way. Released in Japan on November 21 of 1990, North America on August 18, 1991, Europe on April 11th, 1992, and finally in Australia on July 1st of 1992. Super Mario World was a direct follow-up to Super Mario Bros. 3 and retained many similar features such as a world map and boss fights with the various Koopaling villains. However, probably more famously, this marked the series' introduction to the lovable green dinosaur Yoshi.
Sometimes blue.
Sometimes red.
Sometimes
yellow. Yoshi introduced multiple unique mechanics of his own, including the ability to eat enemies and allowed Mario to ride on his back. The game was met with unanimously positive critical acclaim at launch and still maintains that praise to this day. Be it the game's simple, easy-to-learn core design philosophy or its incredibly catchy soundtrack scored once again by series veteran Koji Kondo, Super Mario World has truly stood the test of time and continues to be enjoyed decades after its release. But, as always, before we get into our discussion of the topic at hand, we're going to run through what we've been playing for these last couple weeks. So, Lucas, are you still playing Metroid Prime?
you know it.
I can confirm I was at Magic with him last night.
My most recent playthrough finished at 3:02. I am so close to breaking the 3-hour barrier. So close.
You just gotta get there.
Yep.
And
the thing is, the file I was playing on, I had previously gotten to, I think, Samus's ship before attempting to go fight Meta Ridley, only to discover that I had accidentally skipped an artifact. So I, in disappointment, deleted the file, and then I played through a new game on that file, only to realize, deleting that save file was not the best idea because I have to rescan everything.
oof.
Because if you start a new game on a completed file in Metroid Prime Remastered, it carries over all of your scan data from things that you've scanned through the playthrough.
That's helpful.
Yeah. So it's entirely possible that the 2 minutes over 3 hours that was could have just been a cumulative amount of scan wait time from scanning things that I'm required to scan for that playthrough.
Oh man. All this talk of Metroid Prime and its reputation for scanning everything, it just randomly popped in my mind. You guys remember scanners
Yes.
from the late 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have
Are they
one
not-
myself, but a friend of mine did.
I did. They were cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one.
That was just like one of those weird, quirky 90s toys that like really wasn't all that complex now that you really look back on it. But back in the day when you were a kid and you had that and like every single barcode in the store could give you like a new monster, basically, it was like the coolest freaking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
I
how many playthroughs are you on Metroid Prime now?
think this is number 10 of Prime Remastered specifically.
Okay. And what would you say that your average playtime is? Is it roughly 3 hours per?
Yeah. I would say so at this point.
Okay.
Personal best is, I think, just about 2 hours, 40 minutes or so. From
Okay.
Metroid Prime on the GameCube, actually. So I'm kind of getting to the point where I might have to switch from Metroid Prime Remastered back to my Revision 00 disc in order to push my PB down even further.
Okay. But just speaking specifically of Prime Remastered, so it's pretty safe to say you've probably put north of 30, probably pushing 40 hours into it because I think your first couple playthroughs were a little bit longer sightseeing tours, if I recall
Yes.
correctly. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
My first playthrough was a 100% scans, 100% item collections playthrough. My second one was a hard mode playthrough. And then everyone after that has been like just a regular any percent playthrough.
Okay.
But even then, I think my air quotes 200% playthrough was still less than 10 hours. So I think
Nice.
probably total of probably about 30 or 40 hours or so
Okay.
of accumulated playtime in just Prime Remastered.
Okay. I'm just checking because, like, clearly you don't have an issue playing a game for north of 30, pushing 40 hours.
I've told you about how many accumulated hours I have in Phantasy Star
Yeah.
Online, right?
Yeah.
That's like, I think 1,200
Yeah.
hours cumulatively from at least, I think 2009 or 2010 to now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a... If I really like a game, I put hours into it.
All right. Yeah. Just checking. Anyway,
Yep.
what about Neil over there?
Oh yeah, I was also picked up
yeah.
BioShock for a little bit too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. See, be 4 days ago, time of recording, be 8 days ago from episode release. My 30th birthday. I'm old now.
You're an old man now, just like me. Welcome to the North of 30 Club. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah. Yep. Next time you see me, I'm gonna be completely gray because I'm also a parent on top of being 30. So
that hastens things, I'm sure.
Part of my birthday I got as a present from my daughter Mavis and my wife Becca is the Power Color X Ducky 1-2 SF mechanical keyboard, specifically the version with the Kale box brown switches that are fantastic. 10 out of 10 would recommend these switches if you're a mechanical keyboard guy. I just done some general computing work with it, working on researching stuff for a potential future episode of TOGP. Use that. Pretty nice keyboard to type with. But Friday night after I got home from work, I decided I wanted to try it out for some gaming purposes. So I fired up BioShock again. And it's a really good keyboard for gaming too, as it turns out. Yeah, so played some BioShock for a little bit. Got a little further in the playthrough that I had started sometime last year, I think. I'm finally at the proving grounds.
Yeah.
I believe I'm pretty close to the end. I think that's the last area.
My memory is a little bit fuzzy at the moment, but I'm going to be getting back into it pretty soon here too. I think I still had to reinstall it back on my Steam Deck after I did the hard drive swap.
That's right. You did that recently.
Yeah. But now I'm actually going to, instead of playing it handheld most of the time, I'm going to try and play it up on my TV with the Steam Deck docked for the next playthrough. A little more comfortable that way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Nice. What's Neil been playing?
I also have been playing BioShock.
Wow, there's a lot of BioShock in here.
Yes.
Whoa.
Nice.
Almost like we're doing an episode on it.
Well,
yeah, something like that. Fun game, though.
Yeah. I'm currently in the doctor's offices at the moment. Steinman, I think is his name. I want to say. Or is that somebody else?
I don't know.
My memory is very fuzzy. I played it last summer, so
yeah. Thinking Dr. Shuchong?
Yeah, I think it's basically the first level because the boss is going to be fighting the doctor.
Oh, anyway. Yeah, that doctor. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just getting into it, but I've also been kind of like seeing the sites and looking at literally everything that I haven't, like reading all the posters that are on the wall, all that sort of thing, all that sort of stuff.
That game is aesthetic gold.
It's a really cool game aesthetically, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, one of my favorite games that I've played in general, just because of the aesthetic of it, is LA Noire. And I just kind of like the aesthetic of that game, but also I really like the aesthetic of BioShock because it's that game, but set several thousand leagues under the sea in an underwater city.
Yeah.
It's like in New York, but with more fish.
Yeah.
So far I have switched to the Switch.
Switching it up.
Yeah, just because I'm more likely to play it that way. And I'm not very good at first-person shooters in the first place. And part of me is like, maybe I should be doing keyboard and mouse after all. But I'm very bad at combat.
Problem with playing shooters on the Switch is the Joy-Con joysticks have a very limited range of movement.
Yeah, definitely noticing that.
You should try Metroid Prime Remastered. It has a aim lock button. Yeah, even in the dual stick configuration, it retains the original and Prime trilogies aim lock. So you can lock onto targets with Samus's suit and shoot at them easily. Have I mentioned Metroid Prime Remastered is a really good game?
No, I haven't heard that before. I don't know why I haven't. I've been meaning to try it out.
It's really good. You should do it.
I did have Prime for GameCube back in the day, and I played through the first area up to the countdown, I want to say, and I got stuck with the countdown. Or maybe the boss right before the countdown. Not sure which. I remember panicking when the countdown came up because that was my first Metroid countdown.
Yes.
But yeah, I've also still been playing Sonic Origins. I'm playing through story mode, continuing from the past 2 weeks. Unfortunately, I've been stuck in the future.
Oh
no.
no. The
Specifically,
future is here and it sucks.
it does suck.
You have to pay a subscription to get horsepower in your Mercedes. I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sonic CD time travel and ended up in the bad future of Wacky Workbench. And I'm trying to get good features on every single level without the time stones, which means traveling to the past.
Yeah.
Gonna take you back to the past.
Yeah,
Play the shitty games that suck ass.
exactly.
I'm not gonna bleep that because it's an angry video game nerd. So sorry to our younger ear listeners.
Yeah. Is there any Buffalo Sonic characters?
Specifically in game or in other media?
Let's go in other media as well, because I don't believe there's any in game.
There's not in game, but in Sonic Set AM, there's an episode where this other freedom fighter is around. That's a bison, kind of like a buffalo.
All right, so you could have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in your ear.
Yes. If it's Set AM, they're gonna make a Set AM game for a while.
Yeah. They're also a skunk in Sad AM.
Oh my
No,
God.
that's in Archie Comics, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yes, but you can have a roadkill skunk and down it with beer.
All right.
We're gonna complete the theme song with Sonic characters.
All right.
Oh.
Thanks, Sonic Extended Universe.
Oh my God.
Fortunately, Sonic Set AM and Sonic Archie are kind of in the same universe, so
Yeah.
But yeah, I was stuck in the bad feature of Wacky Workbench, which anyone who's played Sonic CD, specifically Act 1 of Wacky Workbench, is awful. It's the one where the floor is bouncy.
Oh no.
And you get sent to like the top of the level with how high it bounces you, and it's a tall level. And basically what you have to do is like platform along the bottom of the level without falling off. Because if you do, you get bounced up to the top and you have to climb your way back down. It sucks.
Oh
And
no.
so I have to get to the past because I haven't destroyed the robot generator, or this was yesterday before I did destroy it finally. And I'm stuck in the bad future, and you have to go, what is it? Basically, you have to go a certain speed, Back to the Future style, to get time travel juice going. And so I have to do that twice. And Sonic Origins, being the bad port that it is, doesn't activate the time travel in the tubes that you travel through like you're supposed to in Wacky Workbench. So the only way to time travel was by running and not coming to a stop, which was very hard to do because I'm bouncing to the top of the level all the time.
Oh no.
So I was stuck in Wacky Workbench Bad Future for literal days.
Oh
Gross.
no.
It sucked.
Sonic CD, why are you so...
I mean, it wouldn't have been as bad if it wasn't Sonic Origins.
Yeah. Yes, definitely it would be better on the PC port that I have for Windows 95 and 98.
Ooh.
Not necessarily.
Well, then I
some
must
aspects
get a
would be-
Sega CD then.
That's the same issue. You need the PC port that's on Steam that no longer exists because Sonic Origins happened.
Curse you, Sega.
Yep. Really wish I had bought it. I had it on the
Yeah.
phone, though. I don't know if they've gotten rid of that. But anyway, I did eventually go back to the past. It took a long time. I was literally playing Sonic CD all night last night at Magic. And I finally went back to the past and then back to the actual past and destroyed the robot generator. And thank God, I time traveled back to the good future, and I just before this podcast started rolling, I'm about to cross the goal line and go into whatever stage is next.
All
Cool.
right. Into the
It's Metallic
future,
Madness.
back to the past. The key to the oblivion is already turned and the die has been cast.
And I did look it up. I forgot. Before Metallic Madness is Stardust Speedway, which I can't believe I forgot because that's where you fight Metal Sonic.
Metal.
It's one of the coolest boss fights in the series because you're chasing him.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen a couple tasks of Sonic CD, and yeah,
Mhm.
Sonic's that level's really cool.
I need to look that up now. Yeah, that probably would be great. You can probably pass him really easily.
Yeah.
But then do you have to wait for him to crash into the wall? So
I
you'll
believe I believe so.
So then you don't have to do it super fast then. Because as long as you beat him, you win.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't change your time if you beat it really, really fast.
Probably not. But
Unless
also
he's got rubber banding.
not
I don't
entirely
know.
sure.
I'm not sure either. I need
Either
to look
way,
this up now.
Marzo Jr. made a really good task of Sonic CD, and yeah, I'll definitely link that to you in real time, even.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Real
But yeah,
time.
that's what I've been playing. Sonic CD mostly, and BioShock.
BioShrek.
BioShrek. What has Colin been playing?
All right. So on the 19th of April, the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters finally came out on console.
Right.
And I had pre-ordered the physical release for the Switch with the collector's edition, and that got here on last week Friday. So I decided it was finally time to play Final Fantasy 3 because I tried the 3D version and the balancing in that game in the early game is just stupid. And I was like getting just my party wiped on basic enemies out in the field in this like starting area. It's like this game is dumb. So I was like, I'm gonna wait for the Pixel remasters because the console versions added a bunch of quality of life features like the ability to turn your experience gain up to 4 times normal rate. Same thing with your money that you receive. You can even turn off encounters, which was very useful in Final Fantasy 3 specifically. So, yeah, I finally played through that game. It's definitely the best of the NES era Final Fantasies, which I guess you would hope for being the final one on the NES. It's the game that introduced the job system for the first time. There's a bunch of cool different classes that you can change to in the game and stuff. Uh, the final dungeon though, and this is why I was really, really happy I was playing the Pixel Remastered version. The final dungeon is like extremely, extremely long, and there's no save points at all.
Oh,
So
geez.
in the Pixel Remaster, you had the benefit of quick save. So at any
Right.
point, you have at least one save slot that you can save into, so that way you can continue on. But what's also nice is the Pixel Remaster, like after a certain point in the dungeon, in the final dungeon, because I had already leveled my party up so much by having the 4 times experience turned on, I basically just turned off encounters for like the last like third of the final dungeon because I didn't need to fight anyone. I was already at a high enough to fight the final boss. So I was basically at that point just fighting the forced boss encounters and not really fighting any random encounters. And it was really nice. I breezed through that game in like 9 hours. I was not expecting it to be that short of a game. But yeah, the Pixel remaster is definitely the best way to experience Final Fantasy 3. Another 3D remake is really cool, but like I said, it's just balancing issues are awful in that. And there's still a lot of balancing issues in the Pixel remaster there were a couple just random difficulty spikes that I ran into, even though I was basically running 4 times experience the entire playthrough. But yeah, crossed another Final Fantasy game off of my list of Final Fantasy games I haven't beaten yet, though. So all I have left now of the games that I set out to finish this year are 5, 6, and 12. So I might actually have room to get some of the sequels in as well, because I haven't beaten 10-2 and I haven't beaten 13-3. So looking forward to getting through this. I think I'm going to just roll the pixel remasters for 5 and 6, even though I have mostly complete playthroughs of those in the Super Nintendo, just because the pixel remasters are so nice, especially for 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they really, really did a good job in the pixel remaster for 6 specifically. But yeah, I also did a really stupid unboxing video with a really, really stupid thumbnail for the Pixel Remasters Collector's Edition. That's on my
Yes.
YouTube channel, youtube.com/deliciousmorsels. You can go check that out. I also just uploaded an unboxing video for the new Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED because I picked that up not yesterday, Friday when it came
Yep.
out.
That was
Also,
hilarious.
Yeah. I just had a random thought for a fun gag at the intro of that video and just
It's very
it was
good.
fun. It was fun to record that.
Also going up on Delicious Morsels is Final Fantasy songs from that one game.
Yeah.
I've been doing the visualizers, finally getting them up.
Yeah, so already as of record, you should be able to do the battle theme and Matoya's Cave.
Toya's Cave will be up tonight.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. And then by the time this episode goes live, Battle Theme, Matoya's Cave, and Chaos Shrine will all be there on the YouTube channel. You can check it out.
Yes.
The visualizers Neil did are it's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
I really like that little intro with the Final Fantasy text and what that like blue
Yes.
flame flowing behind it. That's just freaking
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, that was literally an idea that came to me at work.
Yeah. It's pretty neat. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Literally created from scratch too. Other than the
Nice.
font.
Yeah, and then other games I've been playing. I haven't been playing this recently because I kind of had to shelve it because other things came out. But since last record, I did play a fair bit more of Xenosaga Episode 1. I am at the final dungeon in this game, and I had to shelve it because this past Tuesday, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed, the story DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 came out, and that's been absorbing all of my attention for the last week.
Yeah.
I am
Checks out.
Yeah, I haven't had as much time to play it as I would have liked. I've only got about 10 hours into it so far. Partially due to the fact that I spent my entire Friday night filming a stupid video of me taking a Switch out of a box and then editing that video instead of actually playing with that Switch. But yeah, just Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the base game, was, I mean, at its core, designed to kind of act as a bridge between Xenoblades 1 and 2 to kind of connect them, sort of. So there's a lot of like narrative references in Xenoblade 3 to the first 2 games. And there's a couple recurring characters from the first 2 games in Xenoblade 3. But it it basically just kind of dips its toe in the water as far as like the overall connection of it all goes, like as far as explaining it all. And then Future Redeemed is just like boom, full force, like they're explaining all of the things, how the world of Ionios came to be, being combined from the worlds of Xenoblade 1 and 2. They're explaining all that, just kind of what's happening, what's going on with the world of Ionios and stuff, and how they're trying to restore the previous worlds to how they were previously. It's got Shulk from the first game and Rex from the second game. The 2 protagonists are back as playable characters in Future Redeemed, and oh my god, it's so cool. Like, I am a huge Xenoblade 2 stan because that was my entry point into the series, and it's kind of a black sheep, really. Like, there's some things that people think are controversial. It's just blown out of proportion, but Xenoblade 2 gets a bad reputation because of that and stuff. But I've always really enjoyed it. And Rex is my favorite protagonist from the series. And now he's all grown up and he's just got mega dad energy and it's great. And being able to play as him again has been really fun experiencing him in this like completely new world. So that's really cool. There's a lot of references musically to the first two games this time as well. Like just straight up wholesale taking tracks from the first two games and inserting them into this DLC. So that's pretty cool. Like there was one battle theme and I was like, okay, hold on. This sounds familiar, but it doesn't sound like Xenoblade 3 battle music. What's going on? I looked it up and yeah, it's just there's an area you get to and it just basically becomes like Xenoblade 1 with the music. Like
Nice.
the field theme is from Xenoblade 1. The battle theme in this area is from Xenoblade 1. It's like really cool.
Nice.
But yeah, and trying to avoid going on Twitter too much until I finish it because now it's not like a full game as far as length goes. So a lot of people are starting to finish it now, and I'm starting to scroll through Twitter and see people talking about things toward the end, not really in a spoilery context, but just like sort of edging on that a little bit. I'm just like, okay, look away, 'cause I haven't had time to finish it yet. So hopefully I'll get to, if not, probably won't finish it tonight. I think I'm probably gonna get a good 20 hours or so out of this DLC, just the way I'm going right now. I'm taking some time with it, and the side quests have all been pretty good so far because they're Xenoblade 3 side quests, so they're actually worth doing. The community feature from Torna is back, but
Nice.
one of my issues with Torna was the community feature kind of gated your story progress behind its like progressing the community feature.
Not so nice.
Yeah, yeah, I don't like it when games lack story progress behind side quests, especially when the side quests aren't great. Thankfully,
Yeah.
Xenoblade 3 doesn't suffer from the like bad side quests, but I haven't run into an issue yet where my story progress is prohibited by the community thing. I think the community feature is a lot more in the background this time, which I like.
Yeah.
But also just the side quests themselves are a lot more enjoyable this time around, so I don't mind doing them anyway. But it's really good. This is the conclusion to the story that they set out to tell with Xenoblade Chronicles starting with 1. So
Dang.
they finally got to tell a complete story after freaking 25 years of trying.
Yeah.
Like they were finally able to finish their story, and it's so cool to see
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Like, Xenogears was supposed to be this massive thing, and then Square Enix cut off their funding and wouldn't let them further develop more entries. They wouldn't even let them finish the first game. But the end credits of Xenogears says it's chapter 5 in the story that they were trying to tell.
Wow.
Xenosaga was supposed to be a 6-part series, and Bandai Namco cut them off after 3.
Boo.
So, like, now seeing them with Monolith Soft has just absolutely thrived under with Nintendo. Like they're supporting all these huge series. Like they're running support on Zelda, both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom coming up. They've done a lot of work in the overall design of the world itself and some art assets. They've done art asset design for Splatoon and Animal Crossing, as well as just being able to do whatever they want to do with the Xenoblade series, and it's paid off like massively
Yeah.
because they finally got to finish it.
Yeah.
And he's in Smash.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like Shulk is in Smash, Pyra and Mithra are in Smash. I can see Noah and Mio possibly coming down the line, at least one of them, because they also announced the same day that they announced the DLC's release date, which was like just randomly on a Tuesday at like 10 p.m. They're like, yeah, by the way, Future Redeemed is the title of the DLC and it comes out next week. Like, what?
Yeah.
And then they announced the release date of the Pyra and Mithra amiibo, and I was able to get the pre-order of those, thankfully,
Nice.
from Best Buy. So I've got those when those are going to show up when they come out. They showed off an early render of the big Trinity Collection box set for the soundtracks. That's by the time you're hearing this, the pre-order window will be closed because it runs until April 30th, which is today.
Yep.
But I was able to pre-order that. It comes with all soundtracks for all 3 of the games and each of their respective story DLCs
Nice.
in this giant box with artwork based on the Trinity processor, which is basically this triangular shaped looking machine thing that's got the 3 core crystals from basically they were Ontos, Logos, and I forget what the third one was, but that's Pyramithra's core crystal. I just forget their technical name. But so it's just the green, the violet, and the red crystals that are kind of in like a cross shaped, or if you're familiar with Xenosaga, they're in the shape of the Zohar. But yeah, I got that pre-ordered too, so that's really cool. But anyway, where I was going with this is the potential for Noah and or Mio in Smash is they also announced that Amiibo are coming down the line for Noah and Mio. So
All
that's really
right.
yeah. So I'm really hoping that means that in the if there is another Smash Bros game coming down the line, I don't even know if they're gonna do another Smash Bros game for a while, to be honest, because Sakurai's done.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
was gonna say I didn't think they were doing Smash again.
yeah,
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'll be happy to have Noah and Mio figures to go with Pyra and Mithra and Shulk,
Yeah.
because I'm not a big amiibo collector, but I've started buying up select ones recently. Like I got the Sephiroth amiibo because it's Sephiroth.
Sephiroth.
I still gotta go and buy the Cloud amiibo now that I'm actually
Sephiroth.
kind of making an effort to buy some, at least for characters I like. But then I've also got Marth, Byleth, and Corin from Fire Emblem. Then I still have the Midna riding Wolf Link amiibo from the Twilight Princess HD box set.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I don't have the Twilight Princess HD game anymore, but the amiibo alone is like super expensive, so I'm glad I held on to that at least.
Yeah.
Sell
I've
it
got
and buy Twilight Princess.
good, but then I wouldn't have the amiibo, which has functionality in that game.
That's fair.
And then part of me still is just kind of holding out hope that Wind Waker and Twilight Princess make their way to Switch, but I don't know.
Yeah. That's okay. Arena of Time's better.
Mm,
Link to the Past better.
okay.
Okay.
I can agree on that.
Oh, but anyway, moral of the story is Xenoblade Chronicles is fantastic. It is currently my top 3 favorite franchise of all time now. It's kind of just below Final Fantasy and Mass Effect, and both of those have like a lot of nostalgia armor. So I don't
Yeah.
know if they'll
Right.
get bumped anytime soon, but like Xenoblade Chronicles has been just amazing, an amazing experience from start to finish. And I'm looking forward to wrapping up the like the end of the story for Future Redeemed, because it's a very special series. But anyway, we are here to talk about Mario. because it is Mario month for
Yeah.
another few hours. So let's just jump down the pipe once more, one final time for this Mario month, and talk about Super Mario World because it's a really good game.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think it's controversial at all to say it's probably one of, if not the greatest 2D platformers ever made.
That does sound controversial, but
I don't think so.
Super Metroid exists.
yeah,
At least
a
from
lot of
like the let me rephrase that. At least from like the 16-bit and back.
Okay.
Like the Super Nintendo, Genesis, NES, like those like classic 2D platformers.
Yeah.
no idea.
Talking about Super Mario World, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, like just like the game is incredibly easy to pick up and understand, but it's got enough challenge in it at the higher end to make it worth wanting to consistently go back and get better and better at. And it's like it's just a complete experience. It's not broken anywhere. There's parts that are like really, really difficult and can be frustrating, but like nothing in the game is inherently broken at all.
Unless you're speed running it, but that's
Well,
speed
I
running, of
mean,
course.
speed running, yeah. Speedrunners intentionally look to exploit the most minute little possible thing they can to shave a quarter of a second off of their time. So,
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes, the game is not actually broken.
No, not really.
It's no Sonic 06
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric
Yeah.
or Sonic Genesis for the GBA.
Yeah. But like it was such like I've told this story before. This was the very first game that I ever owned of my own. Memory escapes me if this is the first time I ever played a video game because like I was 4 years old. I might have played a video game at a friend's house because I had a couple neighbors that had an NES at the time. So I might have played video games before then, but this was my very first video game. I got it with a Super Nintendo in the bundle with Super Mario All-Stars for Christmas in 1994. And I played this game with the controller upside down, and I was able to play it at 4 years old like that. So
Yeah.
Davis wants to try.
What was I playing at 4? It was probably still NES Mario games.
I was a PC gamer from birth.
What?
Boo. PC Master Racers, get out of here.
Wow. You just lost some people on your podcast there, Colin.
Coming from the guy that's got a freaking 3070 sitting on his computer right now that I never
And I'm over here with my nice 3700X and 1080 Ti setup because I finally switched the graphics card back.
Yeah, in spite of owning this game longer than any other game that I own, I didn't actually like fully beat this game until it came to Switch Online and I had like rewinds and save states and stuff like that. Like I've beaten Bowser before because my friend and I back before I moved when I was younger in elementary school, we used to take turns alternating going back and forth between each other's houses playing Super Mario World and all other Nintendo games and stuff like that. But we would do the like shortcut to Bowser's Castle all the time and stuff and beat the game that
Yes.
way. But I never actually went all the way around the map and completed it until it was on Switch Online because I would always hit a point. I think it was Chocolate Island. I'd
Chocolate
always hit a
Island
point in
is
Chocolate Island, and I would just lose all of my lives.
Right.
So that would just stall me out there. Forest of
Yeah.
Illusion kind of took a lot of lives out of me too. It was between Forest of Illusion and Chocolate Island.
Yeah. This game isn't very forgiving.
Yeah.
Like Mario games in general aren't very forgiving, honestly, because it's like 2 hits and you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I played this game to death.
Yeah, you tasked it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I've tasked it poorly. I've done 96 exit playthroughs, no Star World playthroughs, just like warp as fast as you can playthroughs. It's played it a lot.
Yeah,
But
I don't find myself playing it as much nowadays, like now that I'm older. But like even like back probably once I got my PlayStation, I think I just kind of stopped playing Super Nintendo regularly because I had a PlayStation.
Yeah.
But like even then, I didn't get a PlayStation until the PS2 was out. So so all of that time between, I mean, I had an N64 for a minute, I think. But I think even then that was after. Like I had just my Super Nintendo for a very significant chunk of my childhood. I had a Genesis for a minute also, but I played the Super Nintendo more. And I would always go back and forth between Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3 from Mario All-Stars. Occasionally dipping into Super Mario 2 and occasionally you're dipping into the original. But yeah, Super Mario World was like always on rotation when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And like to this day, I'm still like constantly whistling music from this. Like it's just ingrained in my mind. Even when I'm not even like thinking about it whatsoever, I'll just start like whistling the song from the first level out of nowhere. It's like, where'd this come from? I wasn't thinking about Mario. Why am I whistling a Mario song?
Yeah, me too, honestly.
It's just you
I
can't
do
help
that
it.
too, and I haven't played a lot of Mario games. Not necessarily World, but lots of others. I played a lot of Yoshi's Island on the Game Boy back in the day. That's where most of my Mario experience came from. I think I had friends who had the Super Mario World Sonic Advance game. Or, sorry.
Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario World.
That one.
Or no, wait, no, 4 was Super Mario Advance 2, I think was Super Mario World.
Yeah.
I have no
And
idea.
then
That was a
I don't know.
terrible
All I
naming
know is that Super
convention.
Mario Advance 4 was Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I still don't know what Super Mario Advance 3 is, honestly.
Yeah.
Yoshi's Island?
Probably.
I want to say so.
Yeah, it was Yoshi's Island.
Definitely at least in the top 10, maybe even top 5 Super Nintendo games, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's so good.
It's just like I said before, there's nothing really inherently wrong with the game at all. Like, it's just good.
Yeah.
I had some issues with it. For one,
You
the
can.
forgiveness, but also what I really didn't like was just the graphics seem really, really basic. Like not in a it's pixel graphics, but like I don't know. The fact that everything's grid based kind of pulls it down for me a bit.
There's not any blast processing in the Super Nintendo,
Yeah, that's
so I
true. It
guess you can
couldn't
have
handle
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, when you compare it to Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, it's
Yeah.
really a a very basic looking game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I think Super Mario World Mario is my least favorite Mario sprite.
I disagree. I
Okay.
really like that Mario.
I don't know. Something about him.
I
I'm
really
used
like it.
to seeing Superstar Saga Mario, and
Yeah.
that looks a little bit more like Mario to me, for one thing.
Yep.
Um,
I sure know why about that, probably.
maybe. Why? Why do you think?
Is it Super Mario Bros. Z?
Super Mario 63.
Ah,
Yeah. Super Mario Bros. Z contributes, though, for sure.
yeah. SMBZ is real good.
Yeah. Episode 3 of the reboot is on its way.
All
I'm excited.
right.
But yeah, going back to the graphics, speaking of sprite animation, I found that like people quickly steered away from using Mario World sprites in animations because they are so basic compared to like anything else.
That's fair, really.
Yeah.
It's like the most basic improvement over Super Mario Brothers 3 graphics that you could do on the
Yeah.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah. I'm glad they went all out with the graphics of Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, because
Yeah.
that game looks great.
Yep.
And I'm sure we'll get to it eventually, but
I'm gonna be the weird guy in the room and say I prefer Mario World's look to Yoshi's Island.
yeah, but you played it when you were 4 years old.
I just never really got into the cram box look of Yoshi's Island, to be honest.
Okay, that's fair. It does look
fair.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Still
Mario
a
World
good-
is basic, but it's like
It's still a
it's-
good looking
it's-
game for
yeah.
being basic.
Mm-hmm. It does basic very well.
Yes.
I don't know. It's just it's. I think like Yoshi's Island always felt kind of washed out. In addition to like the cram box look to it, like there's a lot more like saturation to the colors in Super Mario World that I
I
liked
don't
more.
recommend you play Yoshi's Island on Game Boy then.
Yeah, that checks out.
early GBA washed out syndrome.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That's really weird that the GBA suffered so much from that when like Game Boy Color games I don't think were really washed out, were they? I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
It's like the Game Boy Color didn't have a backlight, but they didn't have to make everything super washed out in that. I guess
Yeah.
part of it could be there's just a lot more color depth in Game Boy Advance, but I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah. I think that's the reason. So yeah, GBA was, I believe, a 32-bit ARM processor of some sort.
Correct. I know it's 32-bit at the very least.
Yeah. So yeah, outside of like button inputs, it was almost closer to like a PlayStation in terms of computational power. Anyways, though, how do your playthroughs go?
Well, like I said, I abused Rewind. And I did get very frustrated multiple times. And I think there were a couple times I basically reached out to you on our Discord and was like, how do I do this? But I also enjoyed a lot of it too once I got better at it. The only Switch playlist I found was the first one, the obvious one.
Yeah, the one that they just stick right in front of you on top of that giant mountain.
Yep.
Is that a mountain?
The one after
Whatever
Yoshi.
it is.
More like a plateau. Boom.
Yeah. the one after Yoshi's Island.
Yes.
Speaking of, do you do Yoshi's Island 1 first, or do you do Yoshi's Island 2 first?
Always Island 2 first.
Yes, always. What about you, Neil?
I honestly forget which one I did first because I started this playthrough like way before I actually played it. So like, I think I did the first. Maybe I got to the castle and stopped there, and then I picked it up from there. So I don't remember at all. Also, this is like the first that one game besides Sonic and Celeste that I didn't like jam to get it all done at once. So it actually was a little while ago that I beat this game
Yeah.
instead of like yesterday, like usual. I think the first major sticking point for me was the ghost house. What is the second area called? I can't tell from this.
The second area is Donut Plains.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, and then you get the first ghost house there. The Donut Ghost House.
Yeah, there's 2 ghost houses on that map, though.
Yep. One of them's a secret.
Yep.
Even though it's right there in front of you, you just had the secret is how you get there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I got the wrong one.
Along kind of the normal playthrough route, it would be Donut Ghost House, and that has a secret exit to the top secret area, which is super useful. Yet, 2 feathers on one side, 2 fire flowers on the other side, and a Yoshi in the middle. But if you have a Yoshi already, then that Yoshi block spawns 1-ups for you. So.
Ooh.
If you really wanted to, you could rack up as many 1-ups as you want, just right in that top secret area.
That's useful.
Yeah.
Especially playing versions of the game that don't have access to just rewinding when you die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had so many lives at the end of that playthrough just every time I die, I just rewind. It's like, oh, how do I have this many lives? I've never had this many before. Oh yeah, it's because I'm rewinding every time I die.
Right. Yeah, I'm at 48.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like I've accumulated that many lives by the end of Donut Plains before. Yeah, if you enter the bonus area by collecting at least 100 or more points by touching the goalpost tape, you can enter a little bonus game, and if you hit all of the blocks matching the center one, then you get, I believe 8 extra 1-ups.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Something like that. You get a lot of extra lives.
Yeah. So it can be very easy to rack up 1-ups in Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Also, if you have a Yoshi, anytime you encounter a Yoshi egg in level, it will hatch into a 1-up.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, yeah.
So outside of like just top secret area Yoshi abuse, if you encounter a Yoshi egg in a level, then it'll hatch it into a 1-up if you already have a Yoshi.
Did you already mention the jumping minigame with the blocks? That's not specific enough. I apologize. The where there's like layers that you go up, and there's 3 question mark blocks, and you have to hit the right one, or it'll void out all of them.
I have not. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's also how I got a ton of 1-ups because I was rewinding it.
Yeah, I like those. Oh,
Yep.
I never rewinded those.
Cheating.
I didn't cheat that bad.
It didn't matter because I wasn't dying anyway.
Did you know you can actually go back into the pipe that you entered through in those mini games, and in a couple of levels, it's actually faster for a speedrun to do that.
Huh.
In particular, castle number 2, I forget which Koopaling it is, but if you fly up the first hole where the thwimps drop down, there's a pipe that leads into one of those. Jump into the blocks, and if you get all 3 of them correctly, you get a 1-up mini games. If you re-enter the pipe that you came out of when you first enter it, then it's actually faster than going the normal way.
Does it take you to a different area than you entered?
It would take you to the next room that the normal door would take you, but it's
Ah.
quicker to go that way than to go up the scrolling escalator.
Right. Oh, yeah, those moving block things in the castles. Hated those.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a really cool idea, and they're not bad. They're not badly designed. I'm just bad at.
Yeah. The block snake things in what's it?
I hate block snakes.
Is it castle number 5 and castle number 7 that have those? It's whatever castle it was coming out of Forest of Illusion, and whatever castle it is directly before Bowser Castle. Yeah. If you are willing to suffer through practicing it, you can fly around those, actually. It's incredibly difficult.
The other annoying one was the skull blocks that float over the lava.
Oh yeah, the little skulls.
Yeah.
Yes, those come back in
Yeah.
future games.
Yeah. Those are interesting takes at a auto scroller type level without actually
Yes.
making it a auto scroller type level.
Yeah.
Right.
And then those levels, you also get the blargs.
Blah!
Yes.
The little T-Rex is made of lava, and they come out and they try to eat you, and they're like, "Roar,
Yeah.
roar."
I love Blarg.
Yeah. Such a great name.
Yeah.
Blarg.
So yeah, there's a few ways you can play through Super Mario World. There's the Star World shortcut route that will take you there in as low as 11 exits. And also complete it without going to Star World at all. And then, of course, there's the 96 exit way of doing things, which is a way of doing
Insanity. Well, admittedly, it doesn't really get too terribly out of hand until you get to the special zone, right?
Yeah.
It's like 'cause
Special-
some of those are pretty crazy.
Specifically tubular, honestly.
Yeah.
Um,
Totally tubular, bro.
tubular.
Gnarly. Way cool. Awesome. Groovy. Mondo. Outrageous. Funky. It sounds like the 90s the 90s live action Ninja Turtles named these levels.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Where's Bossa Nova?
Cowabunga!
Epic.
Yeah, Special World kind of sucks.
Yeah.
If you can get through tubular, though, everything's honestly kind of downhill as far as difficulty goes. The way tubular is supposed to be played through is you're supposed to pick up the pea balloon, and that inflates Mario, and you're supposed to fly with it through the stage. More often than not, it's easier to use a blue Yoshi and eat a red Koopa in
Yeah.
the level.
And just fly, because blue Yoshis can fly
Yeah.
whenever they have a shell in their mouth. Doesn't matter what the color is.
Yep. And as previously mentioned about Yoshi, it comes in a variety of colors. You
Yeah.
got, green, which is kind of your regular Yoshi. There's blue that flies whenever you eat a shell, regardless of color. Red, that every shell it eats, you can spit fireballs with.
He's a spicy Yoshi.
And then yellow.
He gets the super stomp.
Yep. You eat a shell, and when he jumps and lands on the ground, it produces dust clouds that kill things.
I always really liked the sound effect of that stomp. It was always really
Yes.
satisfying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like I love the way that the music changes when you're riding a Yoshi.
Yeah. It
He
adds
has
the
his
cool.
own little.
Notice that.
Yeah, he's got his own little like almost like bongos that it adds over top of the music track.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every single song in the game that exists on a level where you can ride Yoshi, it has a variation like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, one thing I really liked about the multicolored Yoshis and was just how you get them in Star World. And
Yeah.
I thought it was so cool the first time I saw a different colored Yoshi. I was like, hold on, this is different. But they come out as a little baby
Yeah.
and you have to feed them a bunch of stuff until they grow up into their full size. And those Star World levels where you do that were always really, really fun.
Yeah. Star World 3, where you get the yellow Yoshi in particular, was always a funny level. Just because you enter the
yeah.
the level and there's Lakitu and he's throwing spinies at you, but there's a silver key button and a yellow Yoshi, and then just like one screen away is the exit.
Yeah.
If you kill Lakitu with one of the purple blocks,
Yeah, you can hijack his cloud and
Yeah.
then fly up.
yep, and then there's the secret exit to get to Star World 4. Yeah, Star World 3 is eternally, I think, my favorite Star World level just because of how amusingly short it is.
Yeah. I think Star World 2. Nope. Star World 2 is really easy though, because you're just holding on to a Yoshi while you're floating through the water.
Yep.
That's the only Star World I played.
Yeah.
I think. Wait,
Yep. Star World. That's the one with the blue Yoshi egg. And it's underwater and has a star right at the beginning that comes down that you can feed your blue Yoshi to immediately grow it.
I've always been kind
Yeah,
of been kind of partial to Star World 1 though, just because I like spin jumping down through and breaking all those blocks. That was always really fun.
Yeah.
I played the one where you feed the Yoshi. The red Yoshi, I want to say.
See, that could be
Probably Star World 1.
Yeah. I believe Star World 1 and Star World 4.
4,
have
yep.
red
Star World
Yoshis.
4, you get to it through Forest of Illusion.
That's the one.
Star World 1 is the first one that you obviously it's 1, but it's got the access through Vanilla Dome.
Yeah, I only got the one through the forest.
Or Donut
Star
Plains.
Wars 4.
No,
Yeah.
it's Donut Plains Star Road.
Yeah, Donut
Which one's
Plains
Vanilla
is
Dome?
Vanilla
Yeah.
Dome is Star World 2.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Which is honestly the one that I was always more likely to find.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
because in Star World 1 you had to get through the secret room in the secret ghost house
Yeah.
there. And I don't know, I always struggled finding the secret exits to ghost houses specifically.
Oh yeah, especially Forest of Illusion Ghost House is awful.
Yeah, those ones get to be like such mazes with like trick doors and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
It's really easy to get lost in some of the ghost houses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Valley of Bowser Ghost House is also really bad for its secret exit.
Yeah.
That one you're supposed to hit the key switch and then have a coin snake take you up to a little kind of area hidden in the top corner of the room.
Yeah.
With a key. It is the worst thing ever to get.
Yeah, sounds like it. Coin snakes.
Yeah.
Block snakes. They're the worst.
What are the coin snakes exactly? 'Cause I
Same as a
never
block
figured
snake,
that out.
just coins.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
Yeah, they spawn out of a coin box. You hit them, and then a coin snake appears, and you have to I don't actually know how you direct them, but it's not quite like the block snakes in Castle 5 and 7, where they're on a set path. You can kind of influence the direction they go in by how you interact with them somehow. I never figured out how it worked. I almost exclusively have finished the Valley of Bowser Ghost House secret exit by using a cape and landing on the 1 block high ledge. And similarly with the Forest of Illusion Ghost House, it has 2 exits. The first exit is, I think, the first door you get to after going through whatever path is on the far right door in the first room. That takes you to the area above the area you start in. Like, you're on the ceiling of that. And then the secret exit is you do the same thing, but you go all the way to the first door at the very beginning on the ceiling. And the only way to tell the difference between the 2 of them is the secret exit has a 3-up move at the exit. And yeah, Forest of Illusion Ghost House just kind of sucks.
Forget which one that is.
The one in Forest of Illusion.
Well, yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, it's got a regular exit and a secret exit, and they're both kind of the same path, but the secret exit, you go all the way back to the beginning, and there's a door on the top of the area you started at, and the other one is there's a door also kind of on top of that first hallway you enter, but you don't go as far as the secret exit. And the secret exit is barely worth getting because it just takes you back to Forest of Illusion 1.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah. Honestly, Forest of Illusion in general is just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Wigglers, though.
I
Yeah.
do too.
They're great.
Yep.
Really clever. I was about to say mob. Too much Minecraft. Enemy design.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the level with all the floating bubbles
Oh, yeah.
and stuff. That one's really fun.
I didn't like
Forest
that
of
one.
Illusion 3, I think it is.
Well, that one was annoying because I was rewinding, is honestly what's true. Because I kept getting mushrooms and losing my power up.
Oh, yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. I love the music, though, in that area on the world map.
Yeah.
That has always been one of my favorite Super Mario World tracks.
Yeah. Mine
the soundtrack is just full of amazing songs. Like,
Yeah.
and,
I mean, it's Koji Kondo. What do you expect?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't say it was hard trying to figure out what songs to cover from the soundtrack. The hardest part was figuring out how to translate them into my own style.
Mm-hmm.
I had a really, really rough time trying to figure out what to do with the music for this episode. Like, there was the one that the one that was the most radical of a change to the castle theme that I did. That one, it kind of wrote itself in a way, because like that was the one that I most had a vision in my head of what to do with it. But like the other songs, especially like the Overworld theme that you'll have already heard play at the start of the episode, like I had no idea what to do with that song at all. So I just kind of like I just started like slapping stuff on it to figure out to just let it kind of develop itself in a way, sort of, because I was just stumped trying to figure out how to turn something that bright into like a metal song. It ended up turning into a ska song instead. I guess if you just take metal and play it in a major key with like flutes and clarinets and stuff, it just turns into ska.
Basically. I'm a big fan of No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom, and that's basically what that is. I think probably Vanilla Dome is
Vanilla
another.
Dome was really good too.
Yeah.
I should have just beatboxed all my songs for this.
Yeah.
Then like the world
Not
map
too
music.
late.
That's true. The world map music for the Bowser's Valley, just that sick bass line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I wanted to do that one, but like it's such a lot of the music in this was really, really hard to cover, even less so because of the just the stylistic differences between like what I usually play and the music itself. But like a lot of the music in this game is on such a short loop that it's just
Mhm.
difficult to develop further than that.
Yeah.
Because like that Bowser's Castle area is like really cool and would translate really well to a metal song, but it's like 4 measures long on a loop.
Yeah.
It's a really
It's
good
metal,
4
dude.
measures, but
With not really a subtle lead to it either.
Mhm. I can't complain though because I also signed myself up to doing the music for this episode.
Yeah, you're the one who
because,
picked
like,
it.
Mario World was my choice. We're a year into the podcast and we haven't talked about a Mario game yet.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a
Wait.
Mario Kart ranking episode, but we haven't done a Mario game
Yeah.
on like that one game series. So like we did
Pretty
Sonic.
impressive, all
We already
things
did Sonic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've done Sonic and Zelda and Metroid.
Metroid.
Right.
Yeah, so
And
it was
Final
a matter of time.
Fantasy.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
it was only a matter of time. It is long overdue to finally talk about a Mario game
Yeah.
for sure. But man, that was hard arranging the music for this.
Yeah.
Totally an 11th hour thing too.
But yeah.
Yeah. But again, with any creative work, like you don't get to control when the inspiration is there.
Yeah.
And it didn't help me just being stumped from the onset with what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, it's like it's really good music, but a lot of it is in really short loops.
Yeah.
So that definitely would make for a struggle with coming up with arrangements for covers of it.
I didn't want to do like a medley at all because I'm not really good at medleys, like making sections flow into one another.
Yeah.
Mm,
Because it's just not something I have a lot of practice with. So I think I've only ever done like actually finished one medley. Well, I've done 2 because I did one for the Zelda episode that I didn't get to actually finish recording.
mm,
But that one didn't really flow that well.
mhm.
But a long time ago, I did a Final Fantasy IX medley with a bunch of music from that game, and that one turned out really good, but I never actually got to record it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, speaking of music and music-related things, how about them Koopalings
Ah, yes.
and all of their musical references?
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Took me a minute to get used to them, but especially with rewinds, didn't take a lot
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Is this
I
is
think
this
like
the portion or the part of Mario's history that established the 3 hits and they're dead?
I think Super Mario Brothers 3.
yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it is definitely Mario bosses that are very, very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one that I wouldn't say I struggle with, he just gets annoying sometimes, is sometimes Iggy does not want to go off that platform
Yeah,
at all.
yeah, I did have trouble with that.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like 2 hits and he's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just really weird.
I can see
Yep.
that.
Icky Iggy.
Named after Iggy Pop from Iggy and the Stooges.
Yeah, the only ones that I can like recognize fully what they're named after are Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead and Ludwig von Koopa, who
Yep.
is very clearly referencing Beethoven.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, Roy is named after Roy Orbison, which you probably know from the song Pretty Woman.
Ah,
Wendy O. Koopa is named after Wendy O. Williams from the punk band The Plasmatics. Forget who Morton is named after. I think it was a talk show host of some sort. Larry, I believe, is just Larry because the localizer is like, he looks like a Larry.
And then outside of the Koopalings, there's another musical reference with
the
Resner,
Yeah.
which they're a weird looking fire spitting triceratops. And somehow they were like, you know what? This reminds us of Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
I don't see how you don't make the connection. It's very obvious.
I guess.
Yeah, Reznor was always an interesting boss to me, considering that, like, once you get to Chocolate Island, there's the Rhino Dinos that look incredibly similar to the Reznor Triceratops, but like they're not a boss. So heck,
I had a lot of trouble with Reznor though, or the Reznors.
They can be tricky at times.
Yeah,
like sometimes you'll try to bump one from beneath and accidentally catch yourself in the one that's coming up behind you.
Yeah, it was annoying.
And the fireballs.
Because the floor falls off is the main issue I had. And like I'd get to a certain point where I dealt a bunch of damage and then I would be stuck in a place that I couldn't not die. So then I'm rewinding instead of just taking the death.
Yep.
And so that got frustrating real fast.
Understandable.
But one thing I love a lot about the game's boss fights also is how they all end with the Koopalings.
Yeah.
Just like every single time he destroys a fortress, he does it in a different weird way.
Yes.
Like
cutscenes are fantastic in this game.
Like Iggy's castle is just basically straps up a thing of dynamite to it and he pushes the lever and it blows up.
Yeah.
Then he just straight up like tries to kick down Morton's castle. He just kicks it into oblivion.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do that while the enemies were first in there?
Go
through it.
Yeah.
Then is it Lemmy's that gets sent into orbit?
But there's one.
No, it was Ludwig.
Ludwig
is the one that gets sent into. Just send him into orbit.
Yep.
He just like looks up and wonders, like he sets it up like he's gonna blow it up again, like Iggy's, and then it just like takes off into the stratosphere, and he just watches it in confusion, like what?
Yep. And then like a little hill in the background of the
and it gets hit. It has a bandage on it.
Yep. And that band-aid's there for the rest of the game.
That's great. That's one thing I like about this game, especially, is like the amount of like real world progression sort of is reflected on the world map.
Yeah.
Like whenever you like specific things that you do throughout the course of the game, it gets reflected on the world map, like the bandage on that mountain for one thing.
I did not pick up on this.
Yeah. And eventually the seasons change.
Yep. Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, if you complete Special World, it becomes really weird because not only does like the overworld map appearance change, but also some of the enemies change appearance.
Yeah. The Koopas look weird.
Yeah, they're wearing
masks.
Yeah, instead of the traditional Koopa shells, they're wearing Mario masks.
Yeah. And
the bullet bills turn into Pidgeots from like Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah, I'm aware of this now.
And also like the overworld changes to more of like a fall pattern.
Yeah, for some reason Cheese Bridge is full of grass suddenly.
Yeah.
Like even the bridge is covered in grass.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Very weird.
And then the vine that goes down into that hidden level beneath it, it's like all rotted away and dying, but yet there's like green grass on the bridge right above it that it's attached to.
Yeah, man, Soda Lake is such an awful level.
Yeah, with those stupid, like, they drop down a bunch of missiles.
Yeah, the torpedo Teds.
Yeah. Yeah, those things suck.
Yeah. But
Especially because, like, it's not even, like, once they're propelling towards you, it's not that they're difficult to avoid or anything, but sometimes you're trying to get through the area as they start to drop them down on you, and as they're dropping them down, it gets really hard to avoid them sometimes.
yeah, and unlike bullet bills, torpedo Teds you can't just like bounce off of to kill
Yeah.
them. Like,
Yeah.
they're pretty well indestructible enemies. I mean, probably kill them with a star, but I don't think there's a star in that level.
Mhm.
And like without some massive glitches, there's no way to bring a star into that level either.
Yeah.
So Torpedo Ted is really just kind of a pest.
Right? And there are a lot of them.
Yeah. But yeah, that secret exit to get to Soda Lake is pretty well hidden too. 'Cause,
I
like,
have never found it.
So there is a secret goal tape hidden behind the regular goal tape of Cheese Bridge area.
Really?
Yeah,
Right.
Oh,
it
that
is
explains why I've never found it.
so annoying to get to.
Yeah, because like, the only reason I knew about that level at all because, Switch Online, there's a version of Super Mario World with everything unlocked,
Oh,
so you can just go around and play at any level you want, and you have
interesting.
yeah, and it starts you with 99 lives and everything, and you have 2 cape power-ups at the start, so
Yeah.
I was just going around, dinking around in that a little bit, checking out some of the secret levels that I've never found before and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever see on Switch Online a game that's got, like, a special tag on it, usually those are, like, everything in the game is pre-unlocked sort of things, like, where you can just kinda go in and experience the game without any restrictions.
Interesting.
I think there's a Super Metroid one that's got, like, 100% item collection and stuff that you can just load up and go ham.
Wait, but I already know how to do that. Do they have anything I haven't done?
I don't know, I think that yeah, I don't know, I don't think there's one for Link wait, no, there is one for Link to the Past also, I think, so I was or is there?
Well, I've done
I
that
don't remember.
too.
Yeah, I don't know, you have to check it out. It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. Soda Lakes exit leads you to Star World that brings you to Star World 3. Yeah, for the longest time, I didn't know how to get to the Star World 3 Star World because it was just a Star World that was in the middle of the ocean with no exit attached to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star World 4 was also kind of difficult because of Forest Illusion and all of its secret exits to get through anywhere, really.
Mhm.
You have to take, I believe, the secret exit in Forest of Illusion 4, which I believe you can get to from the regular exit from Forest 3, but also I think maybe regular Forest of Illusion Ghost House exit. It's a mess. But if you take the secret exit from Forest 4, it takes you to Forest of Illusion's secret area, which takes you to Forest of Illusion Fortress. And when you beat Forest of Illusion Fortress, you get to the Star World warp to Star World 4, I believe it is. As previously mentioned, there is a sort of secret exit to Forest of Illusion Fortress. It's kind of tough to get to. Like, once you get to the normal door that you would go into to fight the Resner, there's kind of a upper pathway that if you happen to have a cape, you can fly over, but there's a bunch of potaboos jumping out of the lava at you. So I highly recommend using like a spin jump fly and bouncing off of those. But if you do that, then it will bring you to an alternate exit to the Resner, but there, I believe, is like 10 one-up blocks around there. Something I've only done a couple of times because it's really annoying to get to, but kind of a neat thing that I don't think a lot of people know about. Not quite like Valley of Bowser Fortress that will lead you to the back door of Bowser's Castle, which is also kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you take the secret exit from Valley of Bowser to, I believe it is. It will lead you to Valley of Bowser Fortress, and if you beat Valley of Bowser Fortress, it brings you to the back door of Bowser's Castle, which completely skips the number rooms that you have to go through.
Oh, nice.
Through the front door.
That could save you some time.
Yeah.
I really love how much they tease the Valley of Bowser in this game, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's multiple points where you can go through a warp pipe and end up just outside and have to look down at it. You see,
Yeah.
like, the thunder crack, and then you get the cool music and stuff. And then, if you find the right warp point, you can just get to Bowser's Castle early through Star World.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. I always love that setup.
Yeah. Yeah, really cool. I think it's Donut Plains Secret Ghost House regular exit will bring you to a pipe to Donut Plains Secret 2 that's in Valley of Bowser, actually.
Yeah.
And then later on in Chocolate Island, if you take, I think, Chocolate Island to Secret Exit, it brings you to Chocolate Island Secret, which is also in Valley of Bowser. Chocolate Island 2's Secret Exit is the most annoying thing in the world. Because that level uniquely relies on your level timer, but also the amount of coins you've collected through a level.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Basically, if you speedrun the first two areas as fast as you can get to the secret exit. Otherwise, you probably want to walk through the first two rooms as slow as you can to get to the regular exit. Yeah, it's super annoying.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, then you can skip Chocolate Island 3, though, which is also annoying because that's one of the handful of levels that is required that you find the secret exit in order to progress further. Yeah, if you beat the normal exit, then the path that forms literally takes you on a circle.
Oh, yeah!
Goes
I always
back
thought that was so dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, ha ha ha, fool you.
Yep, and then you either have to fly or use a blue Koopa shell with Yoshi to get to the secret exit that's way further back.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's super annoying.
That's like when you think you get to the final boss fight in an RPG and they're like, yeah, this isn't the final boss, actually. You got like 5 more things to do.
Yep.
Looking back at Final Fantasy 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, all right, final boss fight. Let's go. And then, yeah, wait. Nope, we're not done yet.
Yep. You beat the final boss. Then all of a sudden the music starts having Latin chanting in the background. Like, uh-oh, I'm in danger.
Oh, no. But wait, there's more.
Call now and we'll double the boss fight.
Where?
Yeah, unfortunately, Phantasy Star Online is kind of that way.
Oh.
Yeah. You beat Dark Falls, air quotes, final form on hard mode or higher. There's actually another form afterwards.
My final form isn't even my final form.
Yep. At least Olga Flow in episode 2 isn't that way, but Olga Flow is also just really bad.
Can we just talk for a minute about how many great enemy designs are in this game?
So
Yeah.
many.
Like, just so many iconic designs. Like the Flying Hammer brother.
Yep.
Just
Oh, yeah.
sitting up there. I always thought he was like a hockey player for some reason. He's
I
throwing
believe
hammers
you,
at
to
you.
be honest.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's the helmet. He looks like a hockey
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
And then like freaking charging Chuck. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This dude puts in so much work. He's got like 10 different variations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always I love trolling him too. Like especially the ones that are doing something and you have to knock them in the head before they start to chase you.
Yep. Yeah. There's regular charging Chuck. There's baseball Chuck that throws baseballs. Then there's football Chuck that kicks footballs at varying heights. There's digging Chuck that digs up rocks and they move slowly at you. I think it's Valley of Bowser 4 that he shows up in. And then in a couple of levels, there's Whistling Chuck.
Yeah.
Um,
Wakes up a bunch of fish and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's Butterbridge 2. He appears and he whistles and summons a bunch of Super Koopas flying down. And then, yeah, there's Forest of Illusion 2 that he appears at the end, wakes up all of the Rip Von fish.
Yep.
Which are just a really cool underwater enemy, too. It's like,
it's a cool name.
Yeah. They
Rip Von
sleep,
fish.
and then if you get too close to them, they wake up and they start chasing after you. Surprisingly, there's no bloopers in this game.
Yeah. But like we mentioned the dino rhinos before, like they're so cool looking. I like the little the small ones, the dino torches.
Yeah.
They're just little guys, but they got fire breathing.
Yeah. They're cool. Honestly, the different colored Koopas are really cool.
Yeah.
And like the different Koopas themselves doing different things too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've got the standard red and green Koopas. Like green Koopas, they just kind of walk and fall off the edge. You can jump on them, make them come out of their shell. Red Koopas, they'll turn around when they get to the edge of a platform. Then there's the blue Koopas, and if you
they get really spiteful.
Yeah, if you knock them out of their shell, they're too big to get back into their shell. So instead, they will kick their shell at you.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the yellow Koopas, and if you jump in, or if they jump into a yellow shell, they turn into the Disco Koopa.
Yeah.
It's commonly nicknamed. But
yes.
These
things were annoying.
Yeah. They enter their shell and then they start chasing after you and their shell starts flashing colors.
Yep.
If you happen to eat one with a Yoshi, then you kind of get a combination of if you land, then you get the sand clouds, but you can also
get the wings.
Yeah, you also get the wings, but also
don't you spit fire too?
You do.
It's like it like combines all of the Yoshi powers.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite Koopa moments also is at the very beginning of Donut Plains 1, the first level where the cape appears. And you just walk forward and you see them all start to take off at the start of the level. That was just such a cool thing as a kid, seeing that. Like, whoa, they can fly. And then if you kill the one with the red cape, you can fly.
Yeah.
Man, that cape changed things so much.
Yeah, did we talk about the cape power-up?
It's so dumb.
It is. But it's still my favorite Mario power-up to this day.
Yeah.
I just love how stupid it is. And I'm really good at the floating and keeping it going throughout the level as well.
But I'm not. And I did a run of can I complete Super Mario World without using a cape? And the answer was yes.
Yeah, it's tricky on the Switch though with the Joy-Cons.
Is that part of it?
It's a lot easier when you have an actual D-pad to rock back and forth with.
Right, and I was using
I couldn't do it very well when I was just playing on my Switch with the Joy-Cons. I couldn't really do it as well. But if you have a good D-pad to rock back and forth, it's really easy.
All right.
Because it's just a rocking motion that you had to get used to. It's not too super difficult.
Yeah.
In a surprise to no one, it works really well on a Super Nintendo controller.
Yep. Yeah. Honestly, I think cape flying is a bit too strong at times.
Oh, it is. It's absolutely
Yeah.
too strong.
Um,
But it's the same thing with like not quite as bad, or the blue Yoshi with the wings isn't quite as bad as the cape, because Yoshi eventually swallows whatever it's got in its mouth. But still, at the same time, you can clear quite a bit of distance with the blue Yoshi too.
yeah. Also, you can kind of time the shell spit to re-swallow the shell that you had to.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah. Blue Yoshi's really broken.
Yep. Well, I mean, in any kind of platforming game, when you have something that allows you to circumvent the platforming, it's gonna be broken.
Yeah.
That's just the name of the game.
Yeah, if it had some kind of like peter out point, like a time limit, like tails flying,
Mm.
I don't think it'd be as bad.
Yeah. Like, I definitely think Super Mario World is the better game, but I think Super Mario Brothers 3 Raccoon Mario
Mhm.
flying is more balanced.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely more balanced. I wonder why they didn't balance the cape out that much. I think,
Might have been because it's new.
yeah, it might have
I don't
been
know.
just like the new wow factor. Like, hey, look at what you can do with this thing. And like the dive bombs that you can do is really fun too.
Yeah.
Like just straight up dive down into the ground.
Yep.
That
Dive
was
down
always
into the background to get the big earth shaking.
Yeah. Kadoop!
Yep.
Shakes
But
the
also,
entire
if you do
screen.
that, you can catch big air. And
Nice.
you can do like a big dive and catch big air to go further up.
Yeah, there's just so much about this game I love.
Yeah.
Like even something as simple as the running animation. Like he does the Naruto run before Naruto did the Naruto run
Yeah.
with his arms out.
Yep. I do kind of wish that like the Super Mario Brothers 3 P meter got carried over into Super Mario World, but
hmm
just because
Yeah.
it makes it a little easier to monitor your running speed, and that's kind of a complaint that I have with future Mario platformers that also have a P speed of sorts. Because like new Super Mario Brothers in that series also has P speed mechanics, but no way to visualize it like Super Mario Brothers 3.
Oh, what else really is there to talk about?
Super Mario World.
Yeah, of course.
That final battle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Bowser in the clown car that I now know is called a clown car.
Yeah.
that they referenced in the Mario movie.
Yep.
Yeah. I love it.
It was a fun fight.
Yeah. He just throws the little Mecha Koopas down at you, and you gotta chuck them up in the air over top of his head so they come down and crash on top of him.
Yeah. It's definitely a more interactive fight than Super Mario Brothers 3, where he's just trying to stomp on you and you gotta make him break the bricks to fall through the floor. Or,
Yeah.
Or shoot him with a bunch of fireballs, one or the other.
Kill him with fire.
Yep.
Yeah, I did think the final boss is really, really solid.
Yeah.
I don't really
Good
like their
music, too.
sprites, but yeah, the music's good.
Yeah.
Sprites are weird looking, especially Princess Peach's.
Oh, yeah. I hate
It's because it's
Princess
not Princess Peach, it's Princess Toadstool.
Yeah.
Either way, I hate that sprite, and it looks worse than the Japanese version because they did change it for the US release for some reason.
This is Princess Toadstool and not Princess Peach, apparently.
Yeah, the sprite in the US version I always thought looked like she had sideburns. Like this it's like it's Princess Peach, but it looks like Princess Peach with a beard. Really fun to try and juggle the mushrooms with the cape.
Yeah.
Down to you being as previously involved with the tool assisted or task videos community as I was. Like seeing the Fabian's tasks 100% or is that Kaizo Man 666 Bahamate and Pangea Panga's 96 exit improvement of Fabian's playthrough and them just juggling both mushrooms that Princess Peach tosses out for the duration of the entire fight is just great to watch.
Nice.
Speaking of, can we talk about Kaizo a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, this game kind of originated the Kaizo genre.
Yeah, and just Kaizo style difficulty.
Yeah.
I used to watch Kaizo, like Proton John, early Kaizo stuff way back in the day in like high school and earlier, honestly.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have technically played Kaizo.
Nice.
I couldn't get past the first obstacle, so it was literally like, I don't know, a second of free gameplay. And then I had to reload. But I'm glad that it exists.
Yeah. I have a sort of weird, I found Kaizo Mario through a YouTube channel named Cyblade Co. or Cyblade Co. They uploaded someone's playthrough of Kaizo Mario 1 as under the name Asshole Mario, which is
right.
Correct.
Yes.
And just so that I could find that series again. And I think they uploaded, it looks like they uploaded Kaizo Mario 2 and 3 as well. But somewhere in between, they decided they wanted to be like a fighting game channel. And that's how I discovered Blaze Blue, actually.
Oh, dang. Huh.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really weird that like Kaizo Mario World would lead me to Blaze Blue of all things, but that sure is actually how that happened. And then from there, like coworker of mine, Collins, I discovered was into Blaze Blue and was like, "Hey, I've heard of that game. I've never played it though. What is it?" And then got really into fighting games afterwards.
So that's how it began.
Yeah. Through a weird chain of someone who uploaded Kaizo Mario YouTube playthroughs that also uploaded Blaze Blue, and then through that I was like, "Hey, you played Blaze Blue? What's that game?" And then
right.
I've never been the same ever since because I love Blaze Blue.
Yep.
So good. Play Blaze Blue. Play Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is a good, timeless game.
Play Kaizo Mario if you are
if you
really
have the stomach.
Yep. If you like those sort of hacks, if you're a Mega Man fan and also like Kaizo hacks, then play Mega Man 3 probably.
The more I think of it, I should really, because I don't play this game often at all anymore, just because I got so much else to play, but it's not that big of a commitment to go and play through this game from start to finish. Not even necessarily 96 exits, but
you should do 96 exits.
I should, but I think I'm gonna try to commit to playing through this game at least once a year now from here on out. Just to keep going back to it. It's a classic game. I've owned it longer than I've owned any other game that I have.
Yeah.
And that way, I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Honestly, 96 exits outside of like Tubular is really not that bad either. Like, there's some frustrating exits, but they're like probably the three most annoying exits I would say are like Valley of Bowser 4, which is just play through the level again, but with a Yoshi, so you can get the key exit. Cheese Bridge area where you have to do either some really crazy dives while flying with cape, or you can sacrifice the Yoshi and jump off of it midair to get past the regular exit.
Yeah, animal abuse in Super Mario World.
Yep.
Poor Yoshi. Sometimes you're just more useful by dying.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Tubular, which really is easier played through with a blue Yoshi than it is trying to fly through with the P balloon.
Yeah.
Like, you just hit the P switch and then you jump with Yoshi with the cape until you get to the red Koopas that are flying up and down. Then you eat one of them and you just fly to the end of the level. It's so much easier. Just do that.
I should get my original copy out and pick up one of those old save files. See if I can complete one of those.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to actually have a finished 96 exit playthrough on that cartridge.
Yeah. Really, 96 exits. It isn't that bad. Honestly, I think 100% in Super Mario Brothers 3 is probably worse.
Yeah, I've never really stuck with Mario Bros. 3.
It's a fun game.
It is a good game, but every single time I try to play it, I would always just be like, this is great,
Yeah.
but it's not Super Mario World.
It is a much more difficult game to progress in just because there's no saving, actually.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to play through every level, then it's like almost an all-day commitment unless you're like Mitch Flower Power and speedrun it.
I always liked the kind of like theater stage play type of aesthetic it had, though.
Yeah.
That was really neat.
Yeah. Super Mario Brothers 3 and Super Mario World regularly, I think, trade places for my favorite 2D Mario game.
Understandable.
Also, a lot of stuff in Super Mario Brothers 3 that I wish kind of got carried forward. Like, cape flying is cool, but also, like, Super Mario Brothers 3 had the hammer suit and the frog suit.
The frog suit would have been cool in Super.
Yeah. There's also the Tanuki suit, which...
That is one thing about Super, is that it doesn't have any of the suits.
Yeah.
Like, the only real like change that you get to Mario's costume is the palette swap of the fire flower.
Yeah.
And then like the cape just adds a cape, but there's nothing that really transforms his sprite at all in the game, really.
Yeah.
Like in Mario Bros. 3, you had all the different suits like that.
Yep. Yeah, like hammer suit, frog suit, I'm a furry now suit. I mean, the Tanuki suit.
I had to think there's probably something they would have liked to have done.
Probably.
But like it's probably like time constraints got into them because they wanted to have this out because the Super Nintendo. I don't think this launched with the Super Nintendo. I think the Super Nintendo, or maybe it did. No. Okay, yeah, it was a launch title. But like, yeah, so they wanted to have it out with the Super Nintendo, and the Super Nintendo was already kind of falling behind as far as like the market goes because at this point in time, Sega already had the Mega Drive / Genesis on the market.
Yeah.
So Sega was already doing the 16-bit thing, and everybody was kind of waiting for Nintendo to show their hands. So, like, I think maybe if they had more time, they probably could have added more different variations to Mario's costume and stuff into the game through those power-ups.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the cape is so broken.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you don't need all these different costumes. Look what you can do with this cape. You can fly over the entire game.
Yep.
You don't need to be a frog. You can fly.
Yeah. You can cause an earthquake by diving into the ground. It's like, you don't need to turn into a statue. You don't need to throw hammers at things. You don't need the frog suit because you didn't need it in the first place.
So I forget where I heard this, but I forget where I've heard it, but some YouTube video had a theory of like the reason why it's just the cape and fire flower is that Yoshi was the new power up, and they just wanted to fully flesh out all that they could do with Yoshi in Super Mario World.
Fair.
And like he is a big part of the marketing. He's on the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yoshi is very powerful.
Yeah.
Even more powerful than like even the previous power-ups introduced in Super Mario Brothers 3, because like if you got hit while on Yoshi, he would just run away. You could jump back up.
Yeah.
Unless Yoshi ran into like a lava pit.
Yeah. Honestly, that helps me get through this game over Super Mario Bros. 3, just because like when I'm playing this and rewinding, I obviously don't have to lose Yoshi, but I can lose Yoshi if I want to, if I'm not feeling like rewinding, because I can just jump back on him.
Yeah.
And that makes this like rewinds get frustrating if you have to constantly rewind.
Yep.
And having that Yoshi extra hit helps a lot deal with that problem.
Yeah.
I have tried Super Mario Bros. 3 on the virtual console or whatever they call it on Switch. And it is quite a bit harder.
Yeah.
Even with rewinds.
Yeah. That one's also a very tough game to like complete all of the levels of. I've done it before. But Super Mario World is definitely the much more forgiving game of the two of them.
Yeah.
And I know I brought up Super Mario Brothers 3 comparisons a lot against Super Mario World, but that is actually a really common comparison from what I've found. Like, as to which is the better game. Back in my high school days, I started trying to tinker around with Super Mario World hacking, and from what I had read just looking around Super Mario World Central is that there was a lot of people that were just backporting stuff from Super Mario Brothers 3. So, like, a lot of people were, like, kind of trading off between the two games as which one was better.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been, ever since Mario World came out, it's always been a discussion of Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World being the top game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anything really since has ever really been able to creep up into that. Like, it's just always those two
2D
games.
wise.
Yeah.
2D wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely always just been you're either team SMB3 or your team Super Mario World.
Yeah. Well, do we have anything else that we wanted to touch on?
Sonic 1 is better.
There it is. I was wondering when we'd hear it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's got better graphics. It looks cooler. More innovative.
It's got blast processing.
It's got blast processing.
That's the important thing. Okay, well, let's get over to our weekly link to the past as we begin to wrap up this episode. So, releasing today, April 30th, 2023, the date of recording, 24 years ago, on April 30th of 1999. Oh, that's Pokemon Stadium for the Nintendo 64.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I have that game.
Yeah, me too. Yep. Notably, this is the Japan release date for the game. It wouldn't release in North America until the 29th of February the following year. But whatever. Happy birthday, Pokemon Stadium. The first time we were ever able to see our Pokemon from Red and Blue on the big screen in 3D. At the time,
3D.
it was like mind-blowing. Going back to it, there's really no reason to go back to it in the modern era.
Yeah. It's a
It's
neat
got-
novelty if you have a
It
transfer
is.
pack.
It is. It's like it's got a bunch of mini games and stuff in it that you could go back and play, I guess. But like,
Yeah.
I always preferred to just stick to the battling and stuff. And I mean, with modern Pokemon, there's modern Pokemon. It's essentially just without like the announcer guy is fun and stuff, I guess. But yeah, happy birthday, Pokemon Stadium, and that is gonna bring us to the end of episode 26.
Yeah.
Lucas, where can they find you outside the podcast?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Carn9, that one gaming podcast. I upload long plays of the games we discuss for that one game. You can also find me on Twitter at Carn_evil_999. I mostly retweet wrestling news and Colin.
And Colin.
You retweet me sometimes.
That is true.
Oh, what about Neil? Where can Neil be found outside the podcast?
I can be found on Twitch every Monday. Minecraft Monday. It starts at 6:30 and 7. My username is VMK9. I also do editing for usually that one gaming podcast stuff on Thursdays, starting at like 5:36. This is all EST. And you can also find me on Twitter at IamVMK9. I don't post there often, but I do have an automatic tweet go out every time I go live on Twitch, so you can follow me there if you want to get notified if you have notifications on Twitch or on Twitter. You can have notifications on Twitch too, but whatever. I'm also on YouTube at VMK9, and honestly, it might be easier just to search for me in Google. VMK9 brings me up, so yeah, just Google. That doesn't work. Google doesn't have the same syllables as beat.
As for myself, if you are watching / listening to this on YouTube, you're already in the right place. That's youtube.com/delicious morsels. I've got a few new videos up.
Yes. What do you know?
Partially, Neil throwing up awesome visualizers from some of my cover songs and podcast videos, but also I've been making stuff the last couple of weeks, which is weird, but like,
Yeah. It's weird that we both decided to start uploading at the same time.
yeah, it's just like, it's been kind of fun making these last couple of videos. I mean, they're not anything crazy. They're unboxing videos, but they're fun. It was fun to make them. Yeah. Anyway, you can check it out. youtube.com/delicious morsels. And I'm also on Twitter at delicious morsel. And also the music that you will have heard at the start of this episode and that you're about to hear at the end of this episode can be found on streaming services. There's usually a couple week delay on these new That One Game episodes, but there will be a link to the description to my artist profiles on Spotify and Apple Music. So that way you can follow me on there and be notified when the music from this episode is live. And without further ado, if you liked what you heard here on this podcast today, please be sure to hit the subscribe button where it's an option. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, preferably 5 stars, because I guess they like that stuff. And hit the like button if that's a thing wherever you are interacting with this episode. And feel free to share this episode with a friend. We're going to be back in a couple weeks. Actually, hold on. We will not be releasing a new episode a couple weeks from now due to our recording schedule falling on Mother's Day, which is the holiday here in the United States. So I'm going to try and have something up in place of it, so you'll still have something to listen to, but it won't be a traditional That One Gaming podcast episode. It's going to be one of our new side quest episodes that I recorded a while back that I've been waiting to upload for an occasion like this. So look forward to that in a couple weeks. But until then, have a wonderful rest of your day, and remember,
Play for the Goombas.
Stay for the Koopa Troopas.
And that concludes Mario Month. Thanks for listening, everybody.